Mike Perry once again proved why he's the undeniable face of bare-knuckle fighting as he dismantled Jeremy Stephens in a brutal, bloody display of controlled violence at BKFC 82. The Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, erupted as Perry, holding his King of Violence title, entered the ring looking more focused than ever. With a perfect 5-0 record in BKFC coming into the bout, Perry was on a mission to reassert dominance after his lone boxing loss to Jake Paul in 2024. Stephens, known for his knockout power and fearlessness, stepped in ready to test that claim. The tension in the air was electric as both fighters squared up. From the opening bell, Perry wasted no time pushing the pace, walking down Stephens and firing heavy jabs. Stephens, no stranger to chaos, cracked Perry with a clean right hand that sent a wave of energy through the crowd. The early moments showed the grit both men brought into the ring, neither was willing to back down. Perry ripped the body with precision while Stephens stayed composed behind a tight guard, answering with stiff counters that demanded respect. Stephens' timing and accuracy stood out in the first round, catching Perry several times with sharp rights. It was enough to edge the opener on many scorecards, but Perry's relentless pressure was just beginning to take shape. As the second round began, Perry came out swinging, determined to break his opponent's rhythm. The exchanges grew wilder, louder, and more dangerous. Perry's volume began to overwhelm Stephens, though Jeremy answered with a few crisp jabs that found their mark. It was clear that Perry's power shots were beginning to take their toll. Midway through the fight, the momentum shifted entirely in Perry's favor. His movement tightened, his jab found a rhythm, and his body work started to slow Stephens. A left hand straight down the middle buckled Stephens and forced him to a knee, drawing roars from the New Jersey crowd. Blood streamed down Stephens' face as he rose to continue, his warrior spirit on full display, but Perry smelled blood, both literally and figuratively. Round 4 was a masterclass in controlled aggression. Perry cornered Stephens and unleashed combinations to the head and body, alternating between hooks and uppercuts that left his opponent reeling. Stephens managed to land a right hand of his own but couldn't shake Perry off. The Platinum One kept closing the distance, crushing him with body shots before dropping him again. The referee looked closely, and the fans could sense the end was near. Stephens somehow survived to hear the bell, his corner's concern written across their faces. When the final round began, it was all heart from Jeremy Stephens. Despite being battered, bruised, and clearly exhausted, he charged forward, firing one last desperate right that momentarily caught Perry's attention. But Perry's chin and confidence held strong. He returned fire with a savage right hand that sent Stephens to a knee once more. Each time Stephens rose, Perry met him with another thunderous combination. The courage from both men was undeniable. Stephens refused to quit even as the fight slipped away. Yet Perry's power was too much. With just over a minute remaining, a flurry from Perry forced Stephens down again. The referee allowed him to continue, but another devastating sequence sent Stephens crashing to the canvas. That was the end. Gary Copeland waved it off as Perry raised his hands in triumph, blood-splattered and victorious. The crowd erupted into chants of, "Perry! Perry!" as the BKFC king stood center ring, celebrating another violent masterpiece. He had done what he does best, turn chaos into artistry, brutality into dominance. Stephens, ever the warrior, nodded in respect before leaving the ring. Though defeated, he had earned the crowd's admiration for standing toe-to-toe with one of the most feared men in combat sports. For Mike Perry, this victory wasn't just another notch on his BKFC record, it was a reaffirmation. After a year that saw him step outside the bare-knuckle world to fight Jake Paul in a boxing match, this return was about reclaiming his throne. His performance reminded everyone why BKFC built its identity around him. The swagger, the savagery, and the smile after the storm, it was pure Perry. As he spoke post-fight, Perry's message was simple: he's not done yet. He called himself the King of Violence, for a reason, and promised bigger, bloodier wars ahead. The crowd ate it up, roaring approval for their brawler hero. BKFC may have many rising stars, but none shine brighter than Mike Perry when the gloves come off. Stephens' heart and toughness can't be questioned. His willingness to fight a man like Perry at this stage of his career showed the depth of his courage. But courage can only take you so far when the man across from you thrives in pure mayhem. Perry's pressure, precision, and power were on another level. As the blood was wiped off the canvas and fans exited the arena still buzzing from the spectacle, one thing was certain: Mike Perry's legend in bare-knuckle fighting had grown again. BKFC 82 wasn't just a fight, it was a statement that in the world of no-gloves brutality, Platinum, Perry remains the gold standard.